The moment Marcus stepped through that cabin door, I knew my plan had worked perfectly. For 3 years, I'd been the scared, broken woman he created. Tonight I was the architect of his downfall. The look in his eyes when he realized he'd walked straight into my trap. Worth every sleepless night planning this moment. He had no idea that finding us was exactly what I wanted him to do. 6 months ago, I was still Elena Rodriguez, the obedient wife who apologized for breathing too loud. My twins, Sofia and Diego, had learned to tiptoe around their father's moods like walking through a minefield. Marcus controlled everything, our money, our friends, even which grocery store we could visit. But controlling people has a weakness. Eventually they learn to hide. The night I decided to leave, Sofia came to me with fingerprint bruises on her arm. "Mama, why does Papa hurt us when he says he loves us?" That question shattered something inside me. I realized I wasn't just failing myself, I was failing them. At 3:47 a.m., while Marcus slept off another whiskey binge, we vanished like smoke. I drove for 18 hours straight to a forgotten mountain town called Cedar Falls. Population: 847. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone but strangers can disappear if they need to. I rented a tiny house behind Martha's Diner, paid 6 months up front with cash I'd been hiding in cereal boxes for 2 years. Martha Henderson was 63, tough as leather, and had survived her own demons. She took one look at my kids' hollow eyes and didn't ask a single question about our situation. I became Lisa Martinez, a widow starting over. Sofia and Diego became Isabella and Daniel, close enough to their real names that they wouldn't slip up. I got a job at Henderson's Auto Repair, learned to change oil and fix brakes. My hands got dirty, my back ached, but for the first time in years I felt strong. The kids started laughing again. Sofia joined the school choir. Diego made friends with the neighbor's dog. We were healing. But I knew Marcus wouldn't give up. Men like him never do. They don't see wives and children as people. They see them as possessions. Lost possessions that need to be retrieved. 4 months into our new life, I felt him coming. Not saw, not heard, felt. Like a storm gathering on the horizon. I'd been preparing for this moment since the day we arrived. While everyone else saw me as the quiet widow fixing cars, I was busy setting the most elaborate trap of my life. Deputy Sarah Chen became my secret ally. Her sister had escaped an abusive marriage years ago. When I told her my story, she understood immediately. "When he comes," she said, "we'll be ready." She helped me gather evidence, document everything, prepare the legal paperwork. Most importantly, she helped me turn Cedar Falls into a trap. I started leaving digital breadcrumbs, a credit card purchase here, a social media check in there. Careful, calculated clues that would lead Marcus exactly where I wanted him. Right into Sheriff Chen's jurisdiction, where domestic violence warrants from California would have full power. He arrived on a Tuesday, driving that same black pickup truck that haunted my nightmares. I watched him from the diner window as he parked across the street, studying our little house like a predator selecting prey. My hands were steady as I poured coffee. My heart was calm as I called Deputy Chen. "He's here," I whispered. "We're ready," she replied. That evening, Marcus knocked on our door with his signature pattern, 3 slow, heavy knocks that used to make me tremble. This time I smiled as I opened it. "Hello, Marcus. Time to come home, Elena." Same voice, same cold authority. "Actually," I stepped aside. "Why don't you come in? We need to talk." He walked into my living room like a king reclaiming his castle. Sofia and Diego stayed in their bedroom. We'd practiced this moment dozens of times. Marcus sat on my couch, looked around dismissively. "Nice little hideout. Too bad it's over." He pulled out his phone. "One call to the police, and you're arrested for kidnapping. The kids come home with me." I sat across from him, completely calm. "Go ahead. Make the call." His confidence flickered. This wasn't the cowering Elena he remembered. "I'm serious," he said, dialing. "So am I," I replied, pulling out a thick manila envelope. But before you call, you should see this. Inside were photographs of every bruise, every black eye, every split lip he'd given me. Medical records, school counselor reports about the children's behavioral changes, statements from neighbors who'd heard the screaming. And sitting right on top, an active warrant for his arrest, valid the moment he crossed into Colorado. Marcus stared at the evidence like it was written in a foreign language. For 3 years, he'd convinced me I was crazy, that no one would believe me, that I was nothing without him. He'd forgotten that intelligent women don't stay broken forever. They get strategic. You see, Marcus, I didn't just run away. I disappeared into a carefully planned new life. And when I was ready, when I was strong enough, I let you find me. Right here, in Sheriff Chen's jurisdiction, where your warrant is waiting. The front door opened. Deputy Chen stepped inside, hand on her weapon. Marcus Rodriguez. You're under arrest for domestic violence, child endangerment, and violation of a restraining order. His face went through a fascinating transformation. Confusion, rage, disbelief, and finally, the dawning realization that he'd been outsmarted by the woman he'd spent years telling was stupid. This is impossible, he sputtered as the handcuffs clicked. She's lying. She kidnapped my children. Sir, we have extensive documentation proving otherwise. You have the right to remain silent. Epilogue. Freedom tastes like victory. That was 6 months ago. Marcus is serving 18 months in Colorado State Prison. The kids and I stayed in Cedar Falls. It's home now. Sophia's in the church choir. Diego plays Little League Baseball. And I just bought Henderson's auto repair from Martha when she retired. Sometimes at night I still check the locks twice. Old habits die hard. But I sleep deeply now, because I know something Marcus never understood. A woman who rebuilds herself from nothing is unbreakable. And a mother protecting her children. She's unstoppable. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. I prefer to think of it as justice served strategically. Marcus thought he was the hunter, but he never realized he was walking into the web of a woman who'd learned to be the spider. The best part. He still has no idea how thoroughly I planned his downfall. Even now, sitting in his cell, he probably thinks this was all just bad luck. Poor Marcus. He never did understand the difference between fear and preparation.